Hey guys, Mrs. Weekly here. So I gave you a video on the IXL topics as well for today, but here is an example of using fractions within equations. And I'm going to show you the most effective strategy, and hopefully you can kind of work this out and figure things out. All right, so make sure if you have questions that you are asking them. I'm always happy to help. All right. So in this activity, it tells you to complete each problem using the Jamboard drawing tool to show your work. Okay, I want you to get used to using this tool because I plan on using this for assessments. That way it's an easy way to show your work. Okay, if you're having issues with it, just let me know and we'll kind of figure it out. So I'm going to provide two examples in this video, and I'm going to leave it on this Jamboard. So when you go to the actual Jamboard to do your work, you should still see my examples there, okay? The answer key is on the very last slide. If you want to scan the QR codes and keep track of your points, you can use your phone or an iPad or a different device, or you don't even have to at all. See if you can get all of them though, all right? So we're gonna start out with number one. And number one tells you 1/3 x plus 5 equals 12. So whenever you have a fraction in an equation like this, you want to basically get rid of it. And here's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to look at the denominator. The denominator is 3 in this case. So, and I don't have any other fractions to be concerned about at this point. We're going to kind of start out with just one fraction per equation. So I'm going to multiply this entire equation by 3. Since I'm multiplying both the left-hand side of the equation and the right-hand side, I'm keeping it balanced by multiplying both sides by 3. So I'm not changing any value of anything, okay? I don't want to change the value. So if I multiply this entire equation by 3, I'm basically using the distributive property, and notice that I just put 3 over 1, and I am going to multiply. So 3 over 1, I'm going to bring it down here so you can see it. 3 over 1 times 1/3 x. Okay, well, 3 times 1 gives me 3. Another 1 times 3 gives me 3, and then it's still x. Well, that's just 1x, right? 3 over 3 is just 1. So I'm going to get rid of that real quick. Oh, if it lets me. I'm using the wrong tools, that's why. Use your Jamboard tools, not the Screencastify tools. All right, so this is going to give me x, all right, or 1x. It doesn't really matter which way you put it. Well, then I do 3 times the next term, which is a positive 5 in this case. So 3 times 5, I know is a positive 15. And then I'm going to bring down my equal sign. That stays exactly where it is, but then I still have to multiply 3 times 12. Okay, all I'm doing is getting rid of the fraction. I'm not doing really any of the 4 steps that we talked about to solve equations. This is just getting rid of the fraction. So now 3 times 12 I know is 36. Well, now I don't have any fractions in my equation. I just have x plus 15 equals 36. So all I have to do is use those 4 steps now. So step 1, I don't have distributive property, don't have to worry about it. Step 2, I don't have to combine like terms because on the left-hand side I can't combine anything, and then on the right-hand side, that 36, there's nothing to combine. So step 4, I'm going reverse order of PEMDAS. Well, that's starting with adding and subtracting. So I had this plus 15. I'm going to use the inverse and subtract it. Keep things balanced. All right, so here I know the 15s end up canceling, which was my goal because 15 minus 15 is 0. So I have x equals, well, 36 minus 15 I know is 21. So again, step 4 is to check. So always make sure that you're checking. I'm going to go in red. So I have 1/3 times 21, and I can put that over 1 because I'm dealing with a fraction to check here, plus 5, and I want to see if that's equal to 12. So when I'm doing that, that gives me 21 over 3, which is 7, right? So that's saying 7 plus that 5 that I brought down equals 12. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. So I know that x equals 21. All right. Let's go on to a different slide. Remember, you can come up here to the top and click these arrow buttons at the top to kind of switch between slides. I'm going to do number 5 as the next one. All right. So got my pen out. So again, I'm not doing the distributive property, combining like terms. I'm not doing those yet. I need to get rid of the fractions very first thing here. So again, I look at the denominator. Well, I only have one fraction, so my denominator is 5. And that means I'm multiplying this entire equation by 5 over 1. Okay, I can always put that whole number over 1. Now I'm going to multiply. So 5 times 2 for my numerator gives me 10. And then 1 times 5 gives me 5. And that still has an x on it. Don't forget about that. Well, 10 divided by 5, let's simplify that. 10 over 5 I know is just 2 wholes. So that's going to be x. Well, then I'm going to take 5 times a negative 4. Remember to use that sign that's in front of it here. So 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. And lastly, because I have to multiply it to all of these terms, 5 times negative 2 I know is negative 10. Okay, well, now I don't have fractions. That was my goal. Now I can go to those 4 steps. 1, do I have the distributive property? Nope. 2, do I have to combine like terms on the left-hand side? Nope. What about the right-hand side? Nope. Okay, step 3, we're on to reverse order of PEMDAS. So first up, adding and subtracting, right? So adding and subtracting, I do have this minus 20 because remember I always start on the side with the variable and it's on that side with the x. So at this point, I'm going to do the inverse and add 20. Keep things balanced on each side of the equal sign. Okay, well, negative 20 plus a 20 is going to be 0, or just leaving me with 2x on the left-hand side. And then negative 10 plus 20. Think about dojo. Don't be hasty about these. So negative 10, if I'm at negative 10 on dojo and I get a positive 20, which is pretty freaking awesome, I'm going to be at a positive 10. And lastly, don't have any more adding or subtracting. So on PEMDAS, it goes up to multiplication and division. So I have 2 times x here technically. So I can divide by 2 to use that inverse operations, keep things balanced, run out of room. So I'm going to say x equals, okay, well, what is 10 divided by 2? 5. Yeah, all right. Last step, number 4, is to check. Okay, so I'm going to go in a different color. And I am going to check that. So I have 2/5 times x, which I just found out was 5. And I'm going to put that over 1 because I'm dealing with a fraction. Then I still have that minus 4 to bring down, and that equals negative 2 to bring down. All right, well, this 5 times 2 here, that gives me 10. 5 times 1 gives me 5. Well, that gives me 2, right? If I simplify that. So that's 2 minus 4. Does that equal the negative 2? Yeah, it does. So I know that x equals 5 is the correct solution. Okay, if that didn't actually check out to be negative 2 equals negative 2, then something went wrong and I need to kind of reevaluate my work and try it over one more time. Okay, so your job is to do the rest of these using that drawing tool. As you can see, I have a stylus. If you don't have one of these at home, let me know. I do have some. I don't know if I have enough for everybody, but I will bring this to your house if you find that helpful. Okay, it just has like a little rubber tip type of thing so you can draw on your screen. All right, so good luck. Let me know if you have any questions and I will be happy to help. See you later, guys.